Hey, welcome to your Leo horoscopes for the week of the 7th through the 13th of April. And we have no planets in Leo this week. Focus continues to be on the past, which is actually interesting because there's really a lot of stuff going on astrologically. It's just not happening in Leo, but it is happening in a fellow fire sign. Now, I want to say here really quick, Leo, there's always three of every element, and each one is a different mode. Leo is the fixed of the fire signs. So when people talk about crazy fire signs, they're usually talking about Aries and Sagittarius. You hear a little bit about Leos, but not as much because Leos tend fixed signs are, they tend to not like change. They like to keep things the same, routine, things like that. I think of all the other fixed signs, Leo is the one that changes them the easiest, but it still has a hard time. So with focus on the past, fixed signs tend to really over focus on mistakes that were made in the past. And that makes it very difficult to move forward in any kind of goals that you may have right now. And this week, with so much going on in other signs that it's going to affect everybody, whether you have planets in your sign or not, you definitely don't want to be focused on past issues when there's so much in front of you that of course you want to grasp onto because it's very exciting. So let me just talk. There's two big things going on astrologically this week. We're going to start with the Mercury retrograde that continues to be in Aries. Now, all the Mercury retrogrades are going to be in fire signs this week. So I'm sorry, this year. So an Aries Mercury retrograde can be a bit aggressive, can make people act like a little insane. And of course, we're like a week before the end of tax season. Tax season is over too. So that just adds another layer of ridiculousness and craziness to the whole shebang, right? So with Mercury being in retrograde, of course, we have to have extra patience. There's always delays, especially if you're working on new projects and things like that. There's always going to be these little issues, right? And there's something in our confidence, our brain, that is ruled by our confidence or lack of confidence that has us always looking backward because we're too afraid to look forward. And the second thing that's happening this week is a solar eclipse. And it's kind of a big deal because it's in Aries, it's a new moon. I've done moon manifestation videos before. And the moon is a great way to keep yourself on track with your goals. You start with the new moon and you do the full cycle until you hit the end of that cycle and you begin again with a new cycle. So we have a new moon on Monday and we have a solar eclipse to go with that new moon because, of course, we can't have a solar eclipse without a new moon, right? All of this is happening in Aries as well, which is the sign of rebirth. It's all about new beginnings. It starts about 12:30 Central Time. If you are in the southern states of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, all of those sort of southeast states down there, you have the best view. If you are anywhere else in North America, you might see bits and pieces of it. If you're anywhere else in the world, you're probably, unfortunately, going to miss it, which is sad, but we all can't see it at the same time, unfortunately. You don't have to see it in order to feel the effects of it. That's the whole point. Because it's in a sign that represents new beginnings, it's really focused on career right now. This is a tremendous energy to go into starting something new, and you don't want to miss it if you're too busy looking backwards. And because this is like right at the beginning of the week, if you manifest correctly, and when I say correctly, I mean just focus on what you want, not worry about what you don't want and second guess it and have that little voice in the back of your mind that says, I'm going to manifest this, but I'm never going to get it. Our brains work against us. They really do. If you're manifesting properly, you could be manifesting something amazing for yourself. So, and of course, that's not going to happen if you're looking backwards. So looking at the past and focus on the past and focusing on our past mistakes, there is a I mean, there is a good thing that does come out of that, because you can identify where you made mistakes and you know where to fix and change things. That's the good thing. If you are wallowing in those mistakes and you cannot seem to accept the fact that you made them, then you're going to have a problem, because it leaves you stuck there, and it takes forever, and it takes a tremendous amount of energy and everything you have to pull yourself out. It's like being in quicksand, and nobody wants to be in quicksand. Not when there's so much exciting stuff going on this week and so many exciting and wonderful energies that we can use to benefit ourselves. The only drawback is a solar eclipse in Aries. Aries tends to be kind of an aggressive sign, maybe an overly ambitious sign, very energetic sign for sure. So be aware of the people around you. Everybody is affected by eclipse energy differently. So if everybody is emotionally affected by it, you want to take yourself out of that completely. Not my circus, not my monkeys, and only engage if it is your circus and it is your monkeys. Okay. Outside of that, no engagement whatsoever. Put your double bubble up and get to work, basically. Utilize that energy the right way. I think that other people, for a lot of us, they just get in the way. They're a huge distraction to our success. So we want to make sure, of course, that that's not happening and manifest accordingly. So that's what I have for you guys this week. It's actually kind of exciting. And kind of a good thing that there's no planets to interact with any of this. Because, well, actually, it would actually amplify things and make them more positive. So it really doesn't matter either way. Anyways, that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do consider sending a tip or donation through my coffee link in the description. Really appreciate that. You guys are awesome. I'm Melissa Bruce, Heavy Metal Psychic. I will see you guys next week. And in the meantime, I expect you guys to make it a great week. I have very high hopes for my Leos, as usual. Make it a great week, you guys. I'll see you next week.